Okay, guys, this last article in the series has a nautical theme, but it's based on rock solid, grounded research. You know that I love to give you guys a bit of bonus content to take the concepts in the article to a level deeper. If you're new here, my name is Alex Snyder, and I'm a keynote speaker, strategic advisor to impact-driven business leaders and executive teams on how to build world-class companies with best-in-category performance. And I'm also the host of the Builders podcast, where other incredible leaders and entrepreneurs come and share their wild rides, inspiring stories, and also really practical tips on what help make them successful that you can take into your business. So here's what I want to share with you today. You want to be doing more of the shit that lights you up. And you know how so often when you have those moments of inspiration in the shower or while you're walking, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Intentionally making time to engage in creative, athletic, community, or any other activity that you enjoy, it feeds so many parts of your brain, which not only lets your brain wander and start connecting the dots, it also impacts the neurochemical cocktail that your brain is serving, which impacts sleep, hormones, nervous system regulation, how well that your neurons can fire, the myelinated sheath that your neurons are in, which maintains their health, your memory, etc. All of that. So one of my really early clients is such a great example of this. He never wanted to take time off. And after a little standoff between he and I, he agreed to disconnect partially during a short trip he was taking. And he came back telling me that he'd had a eureka moment on the back of a jet ski. And he not only had a clear picture of the business model changes and the strategic decisions that we'd been mulling over together and that he wanted to pursue now, he also came back with the energy and vigor to implement them. So the value of doing things that light you up and of disconnecting, and I understand how hard that can be, I literally cannot overstate it. Okay, so I talked about A players only, and I know that this is a tough concept, but more is not always better. And I will give you an example from my past in consulting. I used to do a lot of work in mining operations in really remote areas. So this would be in places like Africa, as well as LATAM, Northern Canada, all kinds of places. And so often we would arrive and we would start to look into the operations, and the mines would be very proud of how many local workers they employed. But when you dug a little deeper, what you found was they employed a number of expensive expats who ran most things, and they had really minimal upskilling programs in place to help prepare all those local workers to take over those higher level skill roles. And so in reality, what you had was expensive expat roles that were never going to go anywhere, and then a really large pool of low skill and underutilized people on a large, heavy industrial site, which is actually a huge safety hazard. So the same can be applied to your business. More people is more people to manage. So be strategic with who and how you hire for your business needs of today and tomorrow. The flip side of that coin is you don't want to wait too long to bring in more support and grow your business to the point where you're short-staffed, because what you'll do is restrict your growth or burn out your A players and potentially put your delivery reputation at risk with your clients. The last thing I want to share with you is talking about that being a smaller fish by diving into these bigger ponds. This really has so many options of how you can do it, and it's an area where I hear people constantly telling me a lot of reasons why they can't do this. But with the internet these days, there's really no excuse, and frankly, unless you live off the grid, it's unlikely that there is no one in your local community that also needs peer leaders in their life. So start small. Think about what you actually want. Do you want more of a one-on-one mentor advisor relationship that's kind of one direction where they are helping you focus really specifically on your growth and your business needs? Or are you up for something that's more mutual, either one-on-one peers or something like a group connection with more or less leadership? And there are informal matching programs, there are masterminds, there are network groups, there are more leadership organizations set up around everything from industry to gender to location to extracurricular activities, right? You could be, leaders in construction who like to play paddleball. You will find that group. And if you can imagine it, it exists. And if it doesn't, start it. As I mentioned in the article, if you don't have peers at or above where you are on your business leader journey, you'll be fighting evolution. We are wired to gravitate to that norm of those around us. And that's because being ostracized used to be so risky for our survival as humans. We haven't outgrown that. So I often like to say, choose wisely. If you want to be a millionaire with a six-pack, surround yourself with other millionaires with six-packs, and you'll make it infinitely easier on yourself to hit that goal. So if you're still not sure where to start, reach out. I'm happy to help you find the right place for you. And you can find me on LinkedIn as Alex Snyder via my website, which is www.alexsnyder.com. And as I mentioned, I have my podcast, Builders, which is full of entrepreneurs and leaders whose stories will help give you so much inspiration, as well as those practical tips on what drove their success that you can implement in your business. So good luck, and I can't wait to hear from you guys.